the majority religion is Christianity. About 70% of the population practices that religion. There's about another 20 to 30% which are Muslim. Those who do not practice Christianity or Muslim are, practicing tribal religion. So it's very important in Ghana to respect the religion of the people and to try and learn about their religion. It's not obligatory, but you could even go to church, with Ghanaians and become interested in their religion. Just as important as it is to become interested in their culture. For example, if you wear Ghanaian cloth and wear Ghanaian type clothes, you'll find that it's much easier to interact with people and you're taking on their cultural values, and you'll be able to interact and kind of incorporate yourself much better. So you should try and do those things while you're here.
As a volunteer, it's very important for you to greet the mothers when you come to the home, because it's one thing we do in the African community. It shows a lot of respect. So try and smile to everybody and be nice to everybody too.
We've made a few notes for you about money matters in Ghana. It's important for you to know that more than half of the population survives on less than $30 a month. That means that $10, which might be very little for you, represents about a third of the average salary. So you really, really have to be careful when you discuss money or when you flaunt money, because imagine what would happen if somebody walked up to you and discussed spending a third of your salary on a restaurant meal, for example. That would be very shocking, and we need to apply that same kind of logic in Ghana. So that's an important point. And then one of the other things that we've noticed is that sometimes staff or people or even the children will ask you for a gift. Now, this is a tradition in society where the fortunate ones usually look after the less fortunate ones. So obviously it's not applicable to some of our Western ideas, but the best idea is just to laugh it off, shrug it off, make a joke about it, along the lines of, well, of course I'll give you a gift when I come into my inheritance, ha ha ha, or yes, I'll give you a Christmas gift if you give me one too. Just make a joke out of it. That's probably the best way to deal with those situations. And then we're very serious about insisting that you shouldn't give the children in the orphanages or the orphanage communities money. And this is so as not to create a culture of like audacity and dependence. Because if you have a situation where the kid that asks for more stuff gets more stuff, you end up with a kind of a children's home full of kind of beggars, which is not the right kind of upbringing that we want to give our kids. So please never give individual gifts. If you do give money out, whether it's to someone who works for the orphanage or for someone who works for Orphanage Africa, it's very important that you get a receipt. You should have an official receipt for all transactions.
One of the important aspects of the volunteer program is the financial aspect. The money that the volunteers pay to the children's home actually caters for the children. It is the home's weekly shopping money. If it wasn't for the volunteer program, we wouldn't be able to buy everything the children need every week, such as toilet paper, soap, school supplies, food, etc. The other aspect of the volunteer program is that you will realize that there are other volunteer programs in the country. Some of them are cheaper, some of them are very, very expensive and very abusive, but very few of them channel all of the money, 100% of the money, into the children's home directly. So you can see that the way the money is being used, you can actually benefit from your own volunteers' fees directly.
We also want to warn you that there's a lot of people out there making a business out of asking for money. So you want to be very careful when you're listening to hard luck stories, because you really need to put it past an Orphanage Africa staff member or a social worker, because a lot of these hard luck stories are not true. They're not bona fide, and a lot of people make asking foreigners for money a business. It's unfortunate, but it's a natural occurrence in the developing world, but you really have to be on the lookout for it.
In the course of your stay at the orphanage, you may develop very close relationships with the children, and you may feel inclined to ask them about their past. However, you should never do this in any case, because think about it, volunteer after volunteer, the more that they're asked about the past, the more that they're reminded of their painful history, and it's just not appropriate, and we don't want volunteers who come here who will prod too much into the lives of the children. So please be respectful and do not ask the children why they're in an orphanage, why their parents abandoned them, etc., etc. It's very important to remember.
What do I need to know about health in Ghana?
Before you come to Ghana, you have to make your yellow fever vaccination. That is very important because you need this card just to make your visa. Also, it's very important that you bring your malaria treatment. We recommend you like Malaron or Larian. They are just the best working here. Another important thing is to bring some medical, general medicines, like if you need something, but like antihistaminic, something for your stomach if you get a stomach problem, or something for your fever. We really recommend you that you take a lot of water, but make sure that it's in bottle or in sachets. And also it's very important that you wash your hands as much as possible, and also that you take care about the food that you are taking on the street, because you can get typhoid or salmonella. Anyway, if you get sick, don't panic, because there are a lot of hospital and clinic around Accra. The only thing is like look for a doctor and make your test, because maybe you can get malaria, but they will treat it easily.
You might be surprised to see the kids or even the babies to sleep on the floor. You have to consider that it's part of the African culture. Many of them have slept on the floor in their houses, and here in the orphanage they have beds, but it's just their choice to sleep in their bed or on the floor.
If you have complaints about anything going on in the orphanage, you want to go to the volunteer coordinator or to the manager of the center, and they will take care of it.